Everything begins in the imagination. Before one sees the fruit, one must plant the seed. The secret of making your first million is not found in toil or timing, but in consciousness. Your outer world is the reflection of your inner assumptions. So let us begin, not with bank accounts or strategies, but with your own wonderful human imagination, because that is where the million already exists. You are not going to become a millionaire. You already are. You only need to assume it, live it, and walk faithfully in the feeling of its truth until it externalizes itself in the world. I do not speak of a fantasy or daydreaming. I speak of the law of assumption, the law that governs all creation. All that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. Now the question is not how to accumulate money. The question is, can you assume that you are already in possession of wealth? Can you move through this day not as one who hopes to become rich, but as one who knows himself to be rich already? The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key, not the wish itself. Many people wish to be wealthy, but few feel themselves wealthy. And fewer still persist in that assumption long enough for it to harden into fact. To make your first million, you must first become the version of yourself who has already made it. You must feel the security, the confidence, the freedom that comes with abundance. That feeling, assumed and sustained, will call forth from the depths of reality all the channels necessary for its manifestation. You will not need to beg or chase or compete. The universe rearranges itself according to your inner state. Events will conspire, opportunities will emerge, and people will be drawn into your orbit to assist in the realization of your assumption, but only after you have committed to living in the end. Now let me explain something so that it may settle in the deepest parts of your being. There is no power outside of your imagination. You may think a job or a stock market move or a business strategy will bring you wealth, but these are only means, and means will appear in infinite variety once the end is imagined clearly. The end is the million. The means is irrelevant. Your only concern is the end. Live there, dwell there, rejoice there. You do not need to know how it will come. That is not your task. Your task is to claim the state of abundance, to accept that it is done. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. It is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled in defiance of the evidence of the senses. It is to know that consciousness is the only reality. The moment you feel yourself wealthy, you have taken the only step that ever matters. All else will unfold with mathematical precision according to the law. There is no such thing as luck or accident in this universe. There is only law. The law is simple. Assume the state, persist in the assumption, and allow the unseen to crystallize into form. I have seen it work in my own life and the lives of countless others. The million you seek is not in the future. It exists now as a potential awaiting your assumption. You call it forth, not by effort, but by identification. Assume the feeling of being a millionaire, and the million must come. Let no one deceive you into believing that it is hard, that it takes years, or that you must earn it by sacrifice. Those are the beliefs of the world, and the world believes in effort. But the creative power within you operates by faith. Creation is finished. All states exist. The state of being a millionaire is as real as the state of poverty. You must choose where you dwell in consciousness. What would you do tomorrow if you already had your first million? Where would you go? What would you wear? How would you speak? How would you think of yourself? These are not trivial questions. They are the very doorways to manifestation. Answer them in imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. Enter into that scene. Hear your friends congratulating you. Feel the emotions of freedom, relief, joy. Live from that place. That is the secret. Do not be concerned if the outer world shows you the opposite. That is the past playing out. Your assumption, if held with faith, will overwrite all that came before. The old man, the version of yourself who doubts, who lacks, who struggles, will fall away. And the new man will emerge, radiant and wealthy and free. Now I must remind you, persistence is the key. Do not try this once and abandon it. You must be loyal to the unseen. You must remain faithful to your assumption, even when everything in your world says otherwise. That is the test of true belief. Faith is not passive. It is an act of will. It is a choice to ignore appearances and dwell in the state desired. There is nothing to wait for. You need not prepare. You need not deserve it. You are already worthy, because you exist. Creation is complete. All you must do is assume the state. In the silence of your mind, see yourself in possession of your million. Hear the words of others celebrating your success. Touch the luxury, feel the freedom, know it is real. Then drop it. Walk through your day in quiet confidence, knowing that what you imagined must come. You are not hoping. You are not trying. You are assuming. That is the difference. Hoping implies lack. Assuming implies possession. You must move from desire to identification, from wishing to knowing, from separation to union. Be it, feel it, own it, and remember, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. If you are conscious of being poor, no matter how much you want to be rich, you will remain in poverty. The state you occupy is your magnet. To change the world, you must first change the self, not by force, but by imagination. This is not philosophy. It is law. Your first million does not begin with action. It begins with assumption. And once assumed, action becomes inspired. Ideas come. Doors open. People call. Synchronicities multiply. But they are not the cause. They are the effect. The cause is always within. It is your feeling, your inner speech, your vision, your assumption. Change that and you change everything. You see, the greatest illusion is that life happens to you. No, life happens through you. You are the operant power. You determine the state, and the state determines the circumstances. So, if you desire to be a millionaire, stop focusing on how much money you have. Focus instead on how much you feel. Do you feel like a millionaire? Can you wake in the morning and feel the thrill of abundance? Can you walk into a room and know yourself as someone of wealth and value? That feeling is the key. Let others hustle. Let them stress. Let them chase. You will simply assume and receive. You will enter into the feeling of abundance and let the world respond. For it must. That is the law. A man who is confident he is rich, even when he has nothing in the bank, will soon find that reality rearranges itself to match his conviction. And one who is rich in money, but poor in spirit, will lose it all unless he changes his state. So I ask you, not how much do you have, but who are you being? Are you being the version of yourself who has made the million? Are you dwelling in that consciousness? Are you imagining from the end, or merely daydreaming about it? Live from the end. See it as done. Feel it as now. Speak only that which affirms your wealth. Let every inner conversation, every thought, every mood, align with the state of having. If ever you waver, return to imagination. Close your eyes. See yourself as you wish to be, and feel the joy of it, the gratitude, the relief. That is your true self. That is the reality. You are the creator. You are not a victim, not a beggar, not one who must wait for the perfect moment. The moment is now, and the power is within. Imagination creates reality. So create wisely. Imagine richly. Feel fully. Assume boldly. Persist patiently. And soon, when you least expect it, your outer world will declare what your inner world already knew. That you, beloved, have made your first million. Not by chasing, not by struggling, but by knowing, by assuming, by being. You are the operant power. There is no other. When you walk in this new state, when you carry yourself as one who already possesses great wealth, life begins to bend in your favor. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. People will not know why they feel inclined to help you, to offer you opportunities, to invite you into rooms where abundance flows. But you will know. You will know that you prepared the way in imagination, that you rehearsed the conversation, the handshake, the contract, the celebration. Long before any of it appeared on the screen of space, you will know that your inner world is the true cause. And everything that happens outwardly is simply the echo of what you've already created in consciousness. You will begin to understand that you were never waiting for the money. The money was waiting for you to assume your true self, to step into the role. to embody the wealth with dignity and assurance. You will walk into the store and choose the finer thing, not out of arrogance, but out of knowing. You will make decisions not from a place of fear or lack, but from inner certainty that all your needs are met. That is what it means to live from the end, not someday, not when circumstances improve. Now, always now. This moment, right here, contains all the power you will ever need. There is no future moment more powerful than now. And when you sit quietly and claim, I am a millionaire, not as a plea, but as a statement of truth, you shift your entire being into a new frequency. And life, being but your mirror, has no choice but to reflect that new frequency back to you. The question becomes, will you persist? Will you hold that truth even when nothing yet seems to support it? Will you honor the unseen over the seen? Because it is in that loyalty to the invisible that the visible is born. It is in that fidelity to the vision that the vision becomes flesh. The bridge of incidents will appear. You will be led across it, but only if you do not return to your old identity. Only if you do not abandon your new self when the winds blow or the doubts whisper. The doubts will come. They always do, but they are not to be feared. They are the remnants of the old man, trying to survive. Do not feed them. Do not argue with them. Simply return to your knowing. Return to your assumption. Return to the place where you are already what you desire to be. Dwell there. Feast there. Rest there. Let the world say what it will. Let the conditions roar. You are unmoved. You are unshaken. You are anchored in truth. And truth is that you are wealthy now, not later. Not someday. Now, because in truth, the $1 million is not the goal. It is only a symbol. A symbol of your alignment with abundance. A symbol of your realization that all things are possible to him who believes. A symbol of your decision to no longer play small or wait for permission. You give yourself permission. You decide. You assume. And you receive. So I urge you tonight, before sleep, close your eyes and feel the weight of the million. Hear the tone in your friend's voice as they say, you did it. Feel the luxury of the lifestyle you've chosen. Not because it makes you better, but because it reflects your inner knowing. This is not about pride. This is about power. Your own wonderful human imagination is God in action. And when you use it deliberately, lovingly, persistently, miracles follow. The greatest miracle is not the money. It is the transformation of self, the rebirth, the awakening, the discovery that you are not subject to fate, but master of it. That you are not a servant of the world, but its cause. That within you lies the power that created all things, and it is waiting only for your direction. So direct it, assume it, live it, and watch as your first million appears, because it must. Because you are the operant power. And when that million appears, not as a shock, but as the inevitable unfolding of your inner reality, you will look back and laugh at how you once wondered if it could happen. You will remember the nights you sat in silence, affirming your new identity, whispering to yourself with closed eyes, it is done. And it will dawn on you with great clarity that the journey was not about earning the million, but about becoming the person who already had it in spirit. That is a true alchemy, not turning base metal into gold, but transforming a limited self-concept into a glorious one. To make your first million is to shed the shell of doubt, fear, and lack, and step into the truth of your divine inheritance. There are no chosen few. You are not less than another. The only thing separating you from that reality is your state of consciousness. Not the economy, not your education, not your background, only the assumptions you hold. Here is the beauty. You can change your assumptions this very moment. You can revise the story you've been telling yourself. You can say, I no longer identify with lack. I no longer see myself as one trying to succeed. I am success itself. I am wealth embodied. I am abundance in motion. And as you continue to assume that role, daily, hourly, faithfully, the world will comply. It must, because imagination creates reality. The world cannot help but yield to your inner convictions. It is not personal. It is not emotional. It is law. Just as water boils at a certain temperature, your reality shifts when you reach a certain intensity of assumption. The more vividly you imagine and feel, the faster the transformation. And as you do, you will begin to notice the little signs, the subtle shifts, a conversation overheard, an unexpected call, a flash of inspiration. These are the whispers of confirmation that your inner world is taking shape. You will not need to rush. You will not need to push. You will simply follow the nudges, act on the inner prompts, and move in the flow of your new identity. And each step you take, no matter how small, will be imbued with the power of your assumption. You will not need to control the outcome. You will not need to stress about results, because you already know the end. And the end is, you are a millionaire. Let others argue over facts. Let others fight over how it can or can't happen. You will remain still, centered in the knowing that what you assume with feeling must be. The world can scream otherwise. Let it scream. You are no longer moved by shadows. You are rooted in reality, the only true reality, your imagination. This is the great secret. This is what the sages knew, that all creation begins in consciousness, that what you see without is only the mirror, and to change the mirror, you must change the reflection within. Do not concern yourself with time. Time is not your master. Assumption transcends time, and the moment you fully embody the feeling of already being wealthy, time bends in your favor. Acceleration begins. Compression of events occurs, and suddenly what once seemed far away is here, now present. And when you receive the money, when it flows to you easily, and in ways you never could have orchestrated, let it be a gentle confirmation of what you already knew, that you created it, that you called it into being, that you, by the power of your imagination, by the strength of your assumption, by the certainty of your inner vision, summoned wealth from the unseen into the seen. And with that power, you are free. With that freedom comes a deeper realization that your first million was only the beginning. What you really unlocked was not just financial abundance, but the truth that there are no limits except the ones you accept. The moment you manifested your first million, you awakened to your true identity, the one who creates, not by force, but by inner conviction. You began to realize that the same power that brought you wealth could bring you anything: health, love, success, joy. Because all things obey the law of assumption. You no longer need to ask if something is possible. You know that possibility is irrelevant. The only question is, are you willing to assume it? Are you willing to let go of the identity that no longer serves you? Are you ready to release the old patterns of thinking, the beliefs that whispered limitations in your ear for so long? Because now you've seen the truth. Once you assume the state and persist in it, the universe has no choice but to yield. You may find something else begins to shift. Your desire to prove yourself fades. You no longer feel the need to convince others or gain their approval. You rest in your knowing. You walk as one who is already fulfilled. You speak with calm authority. You move with purpose. You become magnetic, not just to money, but to experiences, people, and opportunities that match your new identity. Your inner conversations change. You no longer speak words of lack. You no longer entertain doubt. Your inner speech is rich, calm, assured. You say to yourself, everything I touch prospers. Money flows to me with ease. I am always in the right place at the right time. I am supported in all I do. And because you believe it, it must come to pass. Others may call it delusion, but you will smile, for you understand imagination is the only reality. And those who call it delusion are only living by sight. But you live by faith. Faith in the unseen, faith in your assumption, faith in the law. And so you do not fear circumstances. You do not chase success. You rest in it. You live from it. And it comes. Eventually you begin to notice that the outer world feels soft to you, flexible, moldable. You sense that it is no longer a fixed reality, but a mirror waiting for instruction. And the instruction is your assumption. What you believe about yourself is what the world reflects back. So if ever the reflection becomes unpleasant, you don't curse the mirror. You change the image. You return to your imagination and revise. You don't react. You create. This is how you move from 1 million to 2, from 2 to 10 and beyond. Not by strategy, but by identity. Not by effort, but by inner alignment. You no longer need to scramble or hustle. Your power lies in stillness, in knowing, in the invisible act of assuming the end. And so you wake up each day, not wondering what will happen, but declaring it. You say, today is another day where money finds me. Today is another day where I am aligned with abundance. Today is another day where I expand my wealth effortlessly. And those words spoken with conviction shape the hours to come. Let others wait. Let others doubt. Let others say one day. You say it is now. You say I am. You say it is done. And because your word shall not return to you void, it is done. When others come to you asking how you did it, you won't point them to effort or chance. You won't credit the stock market or timing or luck. You'll smile and say, I imagined it, I became it within. And they may laugh. They may not understand. But those who are ready will feel the truth in your words. And something in them will awaken. Because your life, your being, your vibration will speak louder than any explanation. You will be living proof that assumption hardens into fact. That belief is the seed of reality. That wealth is not something you chase, but something you embody. That your consciousness, when saturated with a state, must manifest that state in form. And when you stand in this knowing, not as a secret, but as a way of being, you will no longer fear loss or lack. For you will know the source is within you, and the well can never run dry. Even if every dollar were taken, you would simply return to the inner world and recreate. Because the external is only an echo, and echoes fade. But the source, your imagination, is eternal and cannot be taken. That is your treasure house. That is your bank. That is your power. And so you continue to live from the end, not for show, not for approval, but because it is who you are now. You have married the state of wealth. You wear it like skin. You breathe it. You sleep in it. You wake up in it. And life, obedient to the law, continues to unfold itself in beautiful, abundant ways, without resistance, without struggle. Eventually you will forget what it felt like to doubt. You will look back on your old self, the one who worried, who wondered, who feared, and you will bless that version because it led you here. It brought you to the edge of surrender, to the point of decision, to the realization that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of it. Once you accept that, there is no turning back. You become unstoppable. Not because you do more, but because you are more. Not because you accumulate wealth, but because you are wealth in consciousness. You see it, feel it, breathe it, and so it becomes natural, inevitable, yours. So I leave you with this truth. Your first million is not a matter of luck, nor of time, nor of hard labor. It is a matter of assumption. It is the quiet decision within you to live as if it is already done. Walk in that state. Speak from that state. Think from that state. Think from that state. And you will watch the outer world rearrange itself in divine precision to match your inner conviction. You are not here to chase riches. You are here to remember that you are the source. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and do not waver. Persist, no matter what appears. And soon the million that once seemed so distant will simply be a reflection of the wealth you always held within. You are the operant power. Never forget it.